like being in the room with like your favorite teacher.
I thought you were gonna say a cat.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know though. You can't really compare, can you?
Okay, true. True.
So, so welcome, darling. We're live. We are
We're
live.
live! Hello, world.
Hello, world.
You're welcome for being raised with our presence.
Yeah, you are, especially for me at this time of day. So, so welcome. My page says we're live, but I can't see the video. Come
I
on.
see it.
Here we are. Here we are. So me and you are watching it. That's good. So I just just said to Ted that I had given a warning on my profile that we were going live, and I said, yeah, this is Desi. She built a 7-figure business. She loves cats, and she's weird as fuck. You don't want to miss this. And I
That's
think that is just a perfect introduction for you, right?
well, no one has ever given me a better one, so yes. I think I don't think they will either.
Right. That was quite succinct for me as well. So say hi when you join, everyone. And we will say hello with you as well and work with you. So for those of you that don't know Des, I mean, where have you been? Oh, and here's lovely Joy. Welcome, darling. So, so Des has been my business mentor since March 24. So everything, all the shifts you've seen in my business, my attitude, everything, you can absolutely blame Des and her cats. Yes. Yes. Hey, Rafi. Hey, welcome. So, but in all seriousness, working with Des for me has been amazing. She challenges me. She makes me do things I don't want to do. And she just says, yes, Jen. Fuck, Jen. Yes, let's just do it. And also looks at my strategies, looks at my business, and is like rocket fire quick and says, don't do this, definitely do that, shift this, change that. Like, what are you even trying to say here?
That's true. I've said that at least once. That's true.
At least once, at least once. And it's awesome. And it's awesome. So and we obviously speak regularly, and we speak a lot about leadership. We speak a lot about feminine power. We talk a lot about women in business. We talk spirituality. We talk everything really, and of course we talk cats. We talk cats a lot.
Always mandatory.
In fact, one of my first calls, I think, with you, I said to you, I remember this, I said to you that I thought if cats ran governments, we'd be in a much better place.
I remember this. I mean, it would probably be a very self-serving government, to be fair, because it's cats, but still better than what we have now.
Yeah, 100%. 100. I still stand by it. Yeah. And I think, isn't it Larry? Isn't Larry the Downing Street cat?
Stop. I love Larry. I follow his Twitter account. He's amazing. Yeah, and yes, I fully imagine that who actually runs the account is Larry, so I will say he's very funny.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
And you know how I talk about thoughts creating our reality, and that if we put voice to them, we fuel the energy and we create. So I think the more we talk about it, the more likely it is. And I think the world will be a fantastic place.
I agree.
Okay. Have we weirded people out enough now?
Not yet, no. They seem too fine.
Too fine,
Too
too
fine.
fine.
We
Just
should
going,
say
oh,
something
hey.
crazy. What's something crazy we can say?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Adriana. Mirror, hello,
What the hell is
happy.
John the pigeon?
John, I don't remember John the
I
pigeon.
love pigeons. I need to know.
Well, so pigeons also have they bring an energy of love because they are of the dove family. So pigeons
Oh,
are representations of love. They bring messages of love. So who was
see,
John, Rafi? You'll have to tell us.
I knew there was a reason I loved pigeons. In fact, I bonded with someone. Her name is Emma. She's one of my
Mhm.
clients. I spent a few days at a retreat with her last week, and we bonded over our mutual love for pigeons. This has never happened to me in my life. I thought I was the only weirdo who adores pigeons. Turns out there's two of us.
Three of us.
Yay! You know, cats eat pigeons, right?
Well, yeah, moving on. Moving on.
Poor John.
Moving on.
Is that what happened to John? Oh no.
Let's not go.
Come
So,
back to us, John. Sorry.
welcome everyone. This is like an inside view to what a business mentoring call is like with Des. It's very highbrow, it's very deep. Um and this
Very,
is how
very
we change
deep.
the world.
As deep as the Mariana Trench or whatever it's called in English.
I don't know, darling. I don't
The
know.
one geographical thing I know, almost failed most things in high school. That's literally the one thing I know. So I'm very proud of it. So I keep repeating it everywhere.
Excellent, excellent. Full marks, darling. Full marks. um, oh my God, Sadie.
Sadie, I'm so
That's
disappointed in
true.
you.
That I mean, that's like medieval England, but it still happens. It
I,
still happens.
oof.
Anyway, yeah, moving on. And they're not, it's not cats. It's not cats eating the pies. Anyway, I need that picture out of my mind. I'm highly visual. Do not make suggestions. So
Oh.
Des, let's get down to business. What is one thing that you wish entrepreneurs knew right now?
Hmm. I wish people knew that their business can only grow at the level of which they are willing to take risks. I think that a lot of people have this thing where, and I'm delivering a talk on Saturday about this, so this is very much in my head, which is probably why it's the first thing that came out. Um, People have this idea that, when I'm ready, I'll do the thing. And how many times have we had people say this to us about anything, whether it's joining an offer or something just in our personal lives? Yeah, I'm not ready yet. Well, duh. But that's courage. That's boldness. You and I have done so many things that we were not ready to do. And that's the whole point. You get ready by doing the thing. And I just think that, especially in the beginning stages of business, most people just maybe they know this in theory, maybe their conscious mind knows it, but they've not trained their nervous system to understand this.
Okay. Yeah, having walked the path, I agree. I agree. And I very much recognize the inner conflict that goes on of, that part of you that is like, yes, over there, that's where I'm going. That's what I'm going to go and get. I desire it. I'm hungry for it. And I'm going to change the
Yeah.
world by doing it. And at the same time, you've got this inner part of you going, no, run away. Go and hide in the
Yeah.
forest where it's safe. No one can
Yeah.
see you. So, how do people unify those? How do they bring them together without eating any pigeons?
Damn you. I just taken it out of my, I miss the person that I was 2 minutes ago.
I'm not even going to apologize.
Oh, freaking Sadie, man. Um, I think I forgot what you asked. It's pigeons.
Okay, let's bring the pigeons into the center. The pigeon is in the heart here. So you've got that part of you that's the entrepreneur that makes you the entrepreneur, that is passionate and desiring and goes, yes, That's what I'm going for. I'm going to create that. I'm bringing this to the world. I'm going to make a difference. But at the same time, you've got that other
Yeah,
part of
right.
you that wants to run
You
and
know,
hide.
I think people have this idea that the more successful you become, the less you're gonna feel that, which is so insane. We are Sadie's apologizing, which is so insane because we are all humans. It doesn't matter if you're making $1 a month or $1 million a month, you know. And I've spent time with so many wealthy people in my life before I achieved all of this success, and we all go through the same emotional crap at every,
Mm,
it's just slightly different depending on our own individual circumstances. So
mm,
the reason that some of us are willing to act, not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's regardless of the fear, I would say we walk hand in hand with the fear, we make it our partner, we see it as a partner rather than something to run away from.
mm,
um I like to see certain things as partners, money, fear, you know, is because we made the decision. And people say that, you know, but I made the decision, Des. I started a business. Yeah, but that's hardly a decision. I think that when you're an entrepreneur, you have to have a business. Otherwise, you just will never truly be fulfilled and happy. So it's less of a decision and more of a, this is who I am, so I need to pursue it. The real decision happens when you make yourself completely unavailable for this not succeeding, right? But most people are so available to it. So they're available for conversations like, oh my god, like I can't charge this much. Oh my god, I can't show up on camera. Oh my god, I can't say this to a client. All of this shit, you would never even let this cross your conscious mind if consciously and subconsciously you've made the decision of going all in. Most people
mm.
live their lives half in, half out, always one foot out the door,
Yeah,
and good luck succeeding in anything, you know?
right. Yeah, because you've got that drive, that foot out the door that is saying yes. And this other foot is saying, what if? And it is this constant what if, what if.
Yeah.
And I think with the learning to, I love how you worded the partner with fear, with
Mm.
imposter syndrome, with, money, with whatever it is that it's a relationship. You know,
Yeah.
actually one of the greatest lessons you taught me very early on was that my business is not an extension of me. And I'd really believed that it was.
Mm.
And so when I kind of birthed my business as a separate entity, then it became so much easier to partner with. Like, what does my business need?
You know, I love that you
What
just
do
said
I
that.
need from my business?
I love that you just said that. I would even say it slightly differently now. I would say, rather than thinking I am my business and I am my brand, we could actually think it's an extension of us, but in the sense that there is that distance. Because there's a difference between I am my brand and my
Mm.
brand's an extension. It's not even an extension of me, it's an extension of my purpose. I think
Ooh,
when we see it like that, it's
yeah,
different, right? It's part
yeah,
of my self expression. It's an extension of my purpose. It's not who I am. It's rooted in who I am. And this is, I think, where people get quite overwhelmed, because it's like, my brand values are my values. My brand's purpose and personality is my purpose and personality. Where is the, how do I separate? But the moment you start seeing it as, my business is not my purpose, my brand is not my, it's not me, my purpose can be expressed in so many ways, right? I could go volunteer, I could start a nonprofit, I could live my life in a certain way, I could have 20 different businesses. Does that mean I am all of these businesses? Of course not. So I'm glad you brought that up, because when your self-worth is so tied into what you do for a living and what's in your bank account, it's all downhill from there. And that has been probably the most difficult lesson I've ever had to learn.
yeah. Likewise. For me, it's been like the tightest little circle I've sent
Yeah.
myself around in until I eventually managed to give myself the vision of, oh, my worth is unaffected whether I am stood wearing a potato sack or I am stood in regal regalia and a crown.
Yeah.
My worth is my worth, regardless of the outer image and the outer performance I want to put out to the world. My worth is my worth, and it is unaffected. And if your worth is your worth from here, then it can also not be affected externally either.
Yeah.
And that for me is like the game changer.
It changes everything. It changes how you, not just how you run your business, but also how you exist in your life. I mean, think about every time you've entered a room. Like, for instance, I'm doing another talk on stage on Saturday, and yes, I'm bringing my community, but most people there I don't know. I don't even know any of the other speakers. So I've never met the organizer. So it's, for a lot of people, something like this can feel, and I've had these conversations with clients, quite intimidating. You'd be like, oh my God, what are they going to think about me? What if I'm the least like important, least interesting person in the room? And I'm just thinking, I I walk into every room being like, by walking in this room, I shift the frequency, I shift the energy of this room, and people are either drawn to me and to my frequency, or people are repelled and turned off by it. And either way, this is fantastic.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's as far as my thought process goes. I'm not like, oh, but well, this person thinking about what people think of me is truly none of my business. But you can't really exist on this frequency unless you detach your self-worth from what you do, from how you look, from what people think about you, from your business, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting, actually. I had just this kind of deeper realization on Sunday just around this. And like I've been consciously aware of, a subtle comparison thing going on in my mind. And I know we've worked on this as well of, needing to stand on a stage and see myself as more than and not to see myself as less than. And of course, as a spiritual leadership initiator, I do know that we are all equal. Nobody is more or less than anybody else. We all come from the same place, right?
Yeah.
So, but it is part of the walking this path, isn't it? We all know these things intellectually, but until we have the embodied emotional understanding, it's just words and it
Yeah.
has no energy or frequency to it.
Yeah.
So I posed myself this question, and I wonder how this might sit with you as you walk on stage. What if I choose to speak to the people in the room who will feel empowered by what I have to offer them, and I ignore
Yeah.
the rest?
I love that. Here's, I basically, that's how I think about it, but here's how I would put it into words. I just move through life and business with the assumption that everyone is empowered. Hello. We have a cat here, including
Of
him.
course.
He is very empowered. As you can see, lots of audacity, that one. Um, I, and I know that the way I operate can either make you feel deeply uncomfortable if you're not tuned into that frequency, or it will make me so much more magnetic to you, because I never I never disempower people with how I treat them. So I would never assume someone can't afford something. I would never assume that someone isn't tuned into this frequency. I just move through life thinking, treating people as if they can afford my highest ticket offer, treating people as if they're intelligent, self aware human beings until they show me otherwise. And if they show me otherwise, that's okay. Like, I'm not going to judge you. You have a certain level of growth to achieve, as did all of us. I mean, you should have met me 10 years ago. My God, you would never have worked with, I wouldn't have worked with myself. Genuinely. Um, so when you treat people that way, it's beautiful how much they want to rise and how much they actually want to make empowered decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something you've said to me before as well about this showing people what is possible. It isn't, it's not telling anybody how to do something. And it is not saying, look, just because I do it this way, you should do it this way. It is that, I work a lot and teach a lot around limitlessness
Yeah.
and removing any barrier to potential and possibility. So, when you show up as you, all of you, and I love that, assume that, people are, you're not making any judgments. You're just assuming people are on a level and are ready
Hmm.
to step into their own power. That, it just opens the door. It's an invitation. It's the unspoken permission that people don't realize they need.
Yes, and we've all needed it at one point or another. And I
Yeah.
find that this whole not ready thing that I talked about earlier, no shit, of course you're not ready. None of us were before we took a giant leap of faith and bet
Yeah,
on
I'm still not
ourselves.
ready.
Yeah, honestly, neither am I. I'm not ready for anything. I just do it because can you imagine 30 years from now, what's the story that we want to tell about this exact moment in time? Was it, oh, well, I didn't go on that interview with Jen because I didn't know what was going to happen. It was scary. Was it, oh, I didn't do that talk on Saturday in front of 100 plus people because it was scary? What? I will do everything that is scary because I like to walk with fear towards the unknown rather
Yeah.
than to move against fear away from the unknown. That's not a life. And this whole thing about not being ready, it really is about betting on yourself. And I unfortunately, we're not raised to do that. We are raised to bet on the systems that oppress us. We are raised to bet on the government, which doesn't give two fucks about us. We are raised to bet on politicians and media outlets and things that actually actively work against us every single day. Thank you for coming to my TED talk. I'm on it now. Um, but we are not raised to bet on ourselves, which is why so many people settle. We settle in relationships. Hello. We settle in business. We settle in life, period. And it just pains me to see that. My sole purpose in life is to help people rise, especially women, but honestly, anyone who wants to. Whenever I see someone who wants to rise, I will do whatever I can to help.
And I think that is one of your secret sauce magic abilities is that you see the potential
Mm.
in everyone that you work with. And you I've never known someone be able to give such a massive kick up the ass to someone with so much love and then say thank you for it.
I'll take that. I love that.
It is your secret sauce. Yeah, because and as you know, I'm super passionate about the liberation of the feminine.
Yeah.
And that is predominantly in women, but it is
Mm.
in men too. If anything, I think it's harder for men, much harder for men to be able to
Yeah.
embrace that compassionate, powerful, sovereign feminine side and lead with it. And I think, going back to this walking toward the unknown with the fear, it is that trust in yourself that you're leading. That fear might well be walking alongside you and you may well have it by the hand, but you're the one leading. And it is, I really noticed. So 10 years ago, my God, well, you couldn't have worked with me 10 years ago. I was still in corporate. And
I can't imagine that. Genuinely, I cannot.
Jen in corporate, it was a very different world. And so fear was the leader, but for me, that fear was essentially disguised as the Kraken. You know, that was that was my performing mask coping mechanism in a very masculine energy space. So yeah, being passionate about women being able to own their absolute true voice and to be not just unafraid, but to be unapologetic and to whatever the opposite of shame is, to be proud of who they are and
Yeah.
to walk forward without without any of the guilt or the worry. I noticed this about, I mean, this is just human beings in general, right? If we're not in the present moment, we're either in the past or the future, right? And in the past is, as Wayne Dyer talks about, in the past is the energy of guilt, and in the future is the energy of worry. And you can't do jack all about either of those things. But they will take, both of them, they will take 90% of your energy, which means only little teeny tiny weeny 10% of you is focusing on your dreams, on your desires, on your goals. So for me, when you're talking about going all in on your business, your passion, your desire, you're in the here and now and in the present moment. You're not feeling guilty about what happened yesterday, and you're not shitting yourself about the what if and what might happen tomorrow.
Yep. Because those things also have a really negative impact in the sense that they slow down your decision making process. And one of the most important qualities of any successful person, regardless of how you define success, whether it's business or personal or both, is we are so decisive. And when you're not betting on yourself, when you're running away from fear, running away from the unknown, when you're constantly telling yourself you're not ready, when you've done exactly what these oppressive systems want you to do, you're disconnected from your feminine or your masculine. For women, I think disconnected from their feminine is detrimental. For men, being disconnected from their masculine is detrimental, more so than the other side. That's how they want us to be. So when this happens, you are so stuck in how you make decisions that rather than making a decision, you let time or external circumstances make that decision for you. Like, for instance,
I'm waiting for the universe to decide
oh
for me.
my fucking God. Or, I can't begin to tell you how many, because I've been in business for a while now, and so many people over the years, we've had a sales conversation, right? About, say, joining Explode, for instance. And it's been like, um, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Think about it for a month. Oh, the deadline is done. Oh, Des, I'm so sorry I couldn't join this round. Well, but you didn't tell me you didn't join. You let time make the decision for you, and therefore I now don't want to work with you, because that's not the that's not the person that I want in my spaces. I want decisive people who bet on themselves, because if I fill my containers and if I spend my time around people who don't have that quality, that will rub off, not maybe not on me probably, but on my other clients, and then that affects the frequency of the room. So
right. And if you're holding that space and allowing people to give their own power away so easily, it has a ripple effect. And actually, funny enough, so bizarre, Des, I put a post out about this just the other day about 7 ways you're giving away your power. And as a spiritual leadership initiator, obviously I'm in the spiritual community a lot. And all my clients, we're deeply soul-centered and spiritual. But I talk about, and I had this with a client yesterday, I really call them out on not handing your power over to the universe, right? We work with, we talk manifesting, we talk, creating through thought, emotion, energy, frequency, vibration. And so my little Lucifer's just arrived home. Just check, no present. And so, and I used to do it as well, right? I used to do it. I would go into guidance, I'd sit in meditation, I'd call in my spiritual board and ask for guidance. And I would ask, is this the right thing for me to do? Is this the right choice for me? Should I do this? Or show me the way, right?
Yeah.
And it took me years to realize, fuck, I'm giving my own power away to, I'm perceiving the universe as external to me and asking it for permission. What the?
Yes. Continue stating these facts, Jen. Yes.
So when I realized, oh, I'm the universe. The universe is inside me. So whatever the question, the answer is yes. If I want to do something, it is about deciding. It is about deciding. So, and I used to do this as well. I'd do that, right. Should I launch my business training program on this date? And I'd go to my Oracle cards. I might even do a sway test on it. I would seek guidance. And it wasn't until I decided to leave my home and become a traveling full-time cat sitter that I realized how much of my own power I was giving away.
Yep.
So I stood on top of a hill I'd climbed, and it was beautiful. It was like spring day, beautiful blue sky, big wide open spaces, lots of trees, which I like. And there was a red kite flying over and calling, that beautiful high-pitched call that they have, which for me is a representation of Goddess Isis. And so in that moment, I was like, my goddess, is this what I should be doing? Is this how I'm meant to be living my life? And if a goddess can kind of do this and give you the sternest, most serious ever look, she did, and said, you must decide. And until you decide, you're not committed. And if you're not committed, you're just chucking the power away. You're giving it to your potential clients. You're giving it to the wine in the fridge. You're giving it to the universe. You're giving it to your business coach even.
Mm-hmm. Many
right?
people do the last thing. That's one of my core reasons for years ago, really shifting my messaging and being very, very conscious of the language, the phrasing that I use, because it's so important to call in people who are self-led and who understand. So I had to turn someone away recently from investing a very large sum of money in one of my programs because they said something along the lines of, so we would be having a sales conversation and it was basically done. I hadn't seen any red flags. When I have sales conversations, I don't see it as I'm auditioning for the client. Very much so the opposite. We're auditioning for each other, but mostly you're auditioning for me. Like, we have to think of it that way, or we give our power away and we drop our boundaries. And it had gotten to the payment, and then they say something like, I've hired so many business coaches in the past and I've been so let down, and so basically a lot of investment trauma, and none of them produced any results for me. And I just went, I'm so sorry.
Run away.
I can't have that in my spaces, because that is literally the definition of giving your power away. And so that one, and it's a good person, they don't realize that they've fallen into the trap of doing this. But one person thinking this way in your space can really create a negative environment for everyone. And it's crazy how much we give our power away, and how much, like you said, we don't make that decision of going all in. You went all in by literally doing what you just said you did. Like, you let go of your home. This is massive. This is the definition of someone betting on themselves and just going, I'm not available for anything other than success. I'm not available for anything other than this being my path moving forward. But how many people do this? I've worked with thousands of clients, and I wish I could say that every single one of them made that decision. But, some make it immediately. And some of them keep coming to me with things like, oh, but I still am scared of video, and I'm still scared of charging this much, and I'm still scared of running retreats. And at some point I stop giving business advice and I just say, stop coming to me with this until you are ready to be all in on this business. I can't keep telling you the same thing over and over again. I mean, I'll happily do it, but also you must understand that it's not going to move the needle for you, because you can't make teeny tiny little steps on your way to success. Not one person has done that. It's a giant leap of faith.
It is. And, it comes to, for me, it comes down to two things. And I know, you talk about trust a lot in Explode, which I did at the beginning of this year, which was, oh my God, if you're sitting on the fence watching this, fucking do it. Um, but it was something else I spoke about in my community this morning. It's so much easier to make those huge, big, leaping decisions and taking those bets on yourself and trusting in yourself when you're a member of a community, because you're the one doing the work. Yeah, of course you're doing the work. And I said this to my community: I don't do it for you. And I'm never going to tell you what to do. And I'm never going to tell you how to do it. But I am going to walk with you. And I am going to give you a kick up the butt too. And I
Mm,
am going to call you out. But
lovingly.
it's that, but you can take those bets on yourself when it's more than your soul team that has your back, which is a very powerful energy to have with you every minute of every day. But you need your human team around you too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I see my community, by the way. As you know, I walk the path beside you, and I'm continuously investing time, money, effort into my own growth, because people don't want to be in spaces led by people who aren't continuously doing that. You can't lead a community if you yourself haven't gone all in and made that decision, you know? Also,
Yeah.
fun thing, because you said about the cards and the meditations, and you used to be like, should I do this launch, etc. I've had so many people do that. So obviously, I'm very spiritual now. So I have my tarot cards, proper tarot,
I know.
and cat tarot. Um,
I knew.
Still don't own crystals, but we'll see. Um,
We're working on that.
with many people are working on this. And what I do now when I do my card readings, which is I start every day by doing a spread, and I do it also before my therapy sessions, which often shapes how they go. My
Mm-hmm.
therapist loves that. I
Yeah.
just ask, what do I need to know?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need
Yeah.
to know about this journey? Or what do I need to know about today? The end. Not
Yeah.
should I don't know, be in this relationship. So, I mean, my God, the things that I've heard people ask is the
Yeah.
same reason people go to psychics and go, should I
Yeah.
marry this person?
Yeah.
If you have to ask this question, run
Right, yeah, right.
far away.
This was one of my, because I do, as you well know, I do oracle card readings. I mean, I only give them for my clients in during one-to-one sessions. I don't offer them as readings, and I work with them myself every day. But it was one of the things I mentioned on the 7 ways you're giving your power away is by asking oracle, tarot, or psychic readers on how to make a decision or what decision you should make. I think they're an amazing tool for insight, as you say. Like, okay, what do I need to know about this that I'm not seeing? This particular project, this
Exactly.
particular, I don't know, relationship, this thing I'm doing, this decision I've made. Like, what do I need to now know about it that I'm just not seeing?
Yeah.
And being open and willing to listen and not doing the, oh, I don't like that one. I'm going back. That's too hard, or it doesn't make sense. I must be doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing,
So how are
nothing
you
makes sense.
how are you finding your foray into working with cards and your intuition?
It's helping me so much to, because I think the whole point of any spiritual practice, of which I have, well, I love romanticizing my life in general, and I love having my rituals and practices. I think most people just go through their days kind of like AI, like a robot, and I like to just stop and smell the roses, you know? I'll turn anything into a spiritual practice. I think the whole point with any of those things are for us to get to know ourselves better. I don't think it's about, seeing the future or figuring even necessarily anything out. I don't set that kind of an intention usually. Sometimes I don't set an intention, and when I do set an intention, it's either this will show me something that I'm not seeing, like you said, or sometimes when I'm struggling with something and I really need a breakthrough, I'll just say, I'm open to whatever you have for me. And then I trust that my freaking spirit guides or the universe or whoever it is will give me something. And you know what they
Right.
do every single time?
Every single time,
Mhm.
right? And I think then it is, for me, it's about taking ownership of your thoughts and therefore your emotions and your feelings, this emotional mastery in that moment. Because my belief, and it doesn't need to be anybody else's, is that your spirit guides, your angels, your animal spirit guides, your soul team are an aspect of you.
Yeah.
And so they're not external to you, they
Mhm.
are a part of you. And therefore, they will reflect and mirror back to you what you're putting out. So when you choose your thoughts, and it's not easy, but especially for us overthinkers in the world, then and align your energy, your emotions, and you choose how you want to feel, then then the magic that unfolds is just unreal. It's and that is the part of me that keeps the kid in me so alive. It's like Christmas every day of like, how the fuck did that happen? That's so cool. Like the phrase in my soul sanctuary membership frequently, and my priestesses frequently is, oh, you can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up. That is probably my spoken phrase. I love it.
I
I
love
love the
that.
magic of that. And I don't ever want to tire of it or intellectualize it so much that the magic
Yes.
goes. I don't want to do
Yes.
that ever.
Because life is magical and human beings are magical, especially in the current era, which will forever really be our era now of AI.
Right.
People have forgotten that sometimes that we are human beings, and the beauty of human beings is that we're weird. We contradict ourselves all the time. We are a walking paradox. Like the amount of times I've said something and then gone back to it and go, what the hell is that? I don't understand what I even was trying to communicate here, but everyone was
Who
nodding.
said that? Who was that?
Fantastic. Maybe they understood me. I didn't understand myself. Um,
My business mentor, everyone.
like genuinely, I was going through an old master class the other day to see um, if I wanted to take anything from it for the new one I'm running. And the answer is no, because I was going through that being, well, I mean, to be fair, it was from 2 years ago, and I evolved very quickly. But I was just sitting there thinking, why on earth did I say these things? But they seem to have helped me and people at the time, so I also honor that part of myself that came up with that. I
Right.
think
And it
one
was
of
your
the
truth at that time.
yes,
It will have served people at that time that needed it
yeah,
because,
and
the world moves very quickly too.
yeah.
Things change very quickly.
And so do I. And it's so easy to disconnect from something you did only 6, 12 months ago. And to your point of you can't make the shit up. And,
Mhm.
I think people also forget that we are such powerful beings. And at any given moment, we have the ability to access inner peace, to
Right.
access love, to access um, what's the word I'm looking for? That inner English. It's one of five languages, ladies and gentlemen. That inner trust, I suppose. But we have
Wisdom.
everything that we need, wisdom, yeah, at any given moment to access this. And I know that some people might hear this and go, well, that's such a privileged, I don't know, ableist, racist, homophobe, whatever. It's a cancel me already. It's perspective to share. Because I'm going through this, and then therefore, how can I? But you can, though. You absolutely can.
Uh-huh.
Um, I remember someone posted an interview with a homeless man a few months ago, and it was actually a really beautiful interview. And I think the man helped him afterwards, like gave him a place to stay and everything. And that man had so much wisdom to offer. He said, I've been homeless for almost a decade now. And
Mm.
even though I hate my situation, I know that I can be at peace at any given moment. And so that's
Yeah.
why I'm not out there doing drugs and I'm not out there like getting drunk because I know that I can feel peaceful. And I was listening to this thinking, My God, if I say
Uh,
this, it's a
yeah.
privileged perspective. If he says this, it's wise. Maybe let's just take the fucking message and forget about the messenger sometimes.
Yeah. And the outer packaging, right? And we're back to potato sack and
Yes,
right. So,
exactly.
and it, but, and this is for me, like what I hear in that story is that the homeless person has managed to access his truth, his identity through letting go of the illusions of safety. Like, and this is what I know I was learning, the releasing the illusion of safety that bricks and mortar was giving me. And learning that your truth, your identity, your safety is here in within the inner wisdom. And so if you can master accessing that stillness that allows you to hear, feel, sense, know that inner wisdom, then you have mastered your fear, your imposter syndrome, your doubt, your what if.
And that's
And
a huge part of entrepreneurship, isn't it? Like
it is.
letting go of being able to access that at any given time. And you said letting go of the illusion of so many illusions, the biggest one being the world is set up to work in your favor. You know, your job is set up to work in your favor. If there's anything COVID showed us is that everyone's replaceable unless you
Mm,
have a business, unless
mm.
you have a brand, unless you have built yourself to the point where you have people around you who have an emotional connection with you. Unless you've done that, nothing really works in your favor. You have to make your own success.
You do, I believe. And I think it is recognizing that you have the choice and you have the power, which is what scares most of us, I
Mhm.
think. People talk to me about they feel this thing here. I feel this block here, Jen. And it's, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, it's fear, darling, it's fear. Like, we'll
Always.
leave it. But it is you're scared of the power within you.
Yeah.
Because when you then have that choice, right? You have the choice. So, and I know we've spoken about this before, and I stood on stage at an event with you recently and talked about this of how shifting into an energy of gratitude and recognizing that the world, everything happens for you. Once
Yeah.
you accept and recognize that, so maybe the world of work doesn't work for you, but my goodness, everything happens for you. And once you recognize and take ownership of that, oh my goodness, do you step into something powerful then? Because when I had that cancer diagnosis, yes, there was a lot of fear. Yes, there were a lot of snot bubbles. Yes, there were moments of fuck. And also, I'm self employed. Fuck. And also, I've just made myself homeless. Amazing. Um, as it all happened in 48 hours. But I recognized this is happening for me. This is happening for me. So there has to be an opportunity here. There has to be an opportunity here. And that opportunity for me was exponential growth and and being able to ask for help and allow myself to receive it. I think one of the first places I showed up was in the BBS community, right? This
Yeah.
this is what's going on.
Yeah, it was huge to be on the receiving end of that, and very I felt very honored by that. And I'm sure it was huge for you to be on that end of it and actually open yourself up and share that, because a lot of people would have superstitions around it. A lot of people would keep it in, and you were just so brave and so courageous and so open, and you just knew, and you even said later on that even that has happened for you. And I remember when you said that, I thought, fuck, man, like if she can say that, then I have no excuse for thinking that, oh my God, why did this happen to me, etc. Especially with our first world problems, which of course are important, but it just puts things into perspective when you hear something like this.
Yeah, but the only reason I got to that was because I'd been in victim energy. So in previous years in my life.
Yeah.
And I had learned that it sucks and it doesn't get you anywhere and it doesn't lift you up and it doesn't change anything. It just means you spiral that way instead of that way, right?
Yeah.
And it would have been very easy. And I think understandably so, very easy for me to have gone into victim, like, oh, why is this happening to me? All at once, and this is awful. And no, it wasn't great. But it is
Yeah.
now. And it was the catalyst, right? And I know you've had not a health catalyst in that way, but your story is just as powerful and inspiring. I'll let you tell it, but the sitting at was it in Denmark? Is that where you were?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had some interesting experiences over in Denmark, and obviously the my TEDx talk is about an earlier point in my life when I was cyberbullied. And, people often wonder about where my stance on free speech comes from. And because the assumption is that because I almost took my own life because I was cyberbullied before cyberbullying was even a proper thing, because we didn't have social media in the way we have it
Mm,
now. It was really just Monica Lewinsky who had spoken about, because she was the first victim, proper victim of cyberbullying. She has a TEDx talk about that, which largely inspired mine.
mm,
um but I went through that as a 19-year-old girl. I was not an adult. And
mm,
people often think that because I went through that, then surely I should be against people having freedom of speech and people being able to, because words can kill, supposedly, right? Words can create some deep cracks in people's confidence and self-worth. My stance is actually the opposite. I think that nothing can hurt you unless you let it. And I let it because no one had prepared me, no one had raised me.
right.
And we largely don't raise our children. Certainly schools don't care. Parents weren't educated on what was about to happen with social media. As a parent today, I think we truly would have no excuse to not make our kids prepared because they're being raised with social media now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was in this weird in between place of like, my parents just didn't understand. So it wasn't really their fault, I wouldn't say. It was just the situation. And yeah, it's a powerful story, it's a painful story, and probably the story of many people today who are raised with social media. But like, I didn't have to let any of it get to me. Words are words. You know, they can be a weapon, but that doesn't mean that you need to let that weapon shoot at you. You can take the bullets out by
hmm
just protecting your energy. Hygiene is so important, protecting your energy by having the confidence and the belief in yourself to just be like, what is this silly person trying to do? This is ridiculous. And also I feel
And
kind of sad for you, but that's it.
yeah, and it is that reclaiming of your power again, right? Remembering who you truly are and your divinity, that very core of you that can never be fragmented or fractured or broken,
Yeah.
and learning then to observe. And for me, I certainly with people I love and know, then it is observing with compassion. And if it's people
No.
that I don't know, it's observing with curiosity. Like, whoa, what the fuck is going on for you? Wow.
Yeah. And that's the thing, not making it about us. Because even when I'm on this journey of like, I just so don't give a fuck if someone tries to make it about me. Like, genuinely, my first thought is not, or my second, or my third is not going to be, oh, what's wrong with me? It's going to be, oh, I'm so sorry that you're going through whatever it is you're going through. But like, bye bye. I am so quick to take myself out of any situation that
Mm,
doesn't serve me because that's the level at which I respect myself. That is the standard I've created for myself. And unfortunately, not everyone has that standard. It's something that we have to see modeled by other people, which is why I think it's so important that we as leaders embody that standard every day.
every day. Yeah. And recognize that it's not always easy and to be
Oh no.
compassionate and curious with ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very tough. But you know what? I you said earlier, maybe 20 minutes ago, that people are scared of their own power and they feel their body contract, etc. That's because, to quote someone famous, with great power comes great responsibility. I
Yeah.
am not afraid of the responsibility. I signed up for it. I actually love it. It's one of the biggest things that always drives me forward. And I think that if you want to be a leader, if you want to have any sort of influence, if you want to be respected, impact people, you can't shy away from responsibility. So
Mm.
that's what kind of keeps me at least operating under that standard, even on the days when I'm like, fuck my standard, man, can I just be weak today? No, I don't get to be, for myself and for others, and I kind of love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is something that I've heard people say about you, and I experience it, and I know you say it to yourself, is that you hold yourself and therefore others that work with you to a high standard. And it's like this, but it's it's never in a detrimental, heavy, shameful way. It's always in a come on, let's do this way. Like we did not come this far to just come this far, did
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
You know. So at the beginning of this conversation, I said to you, what's one thing you wish all entrepreneurs knew? And to close the conversation, I'm so winging this entire conversation. To
We
close the
love it.
conversation, what is one thing you wish entrepreneurs would just let go of, like they never knew it?
Oh, interesting. Let go of. Let me think. There's so many things. I mean, if I'm super basic and cliched, but it does have to be said, I would say the perfectionism. But I think if we were to take it a few layers deeper, I wish people would let go of this sense of, I need this to work. Like, I need this to be successful, and I have to show up. I have to do the work. I have to create content. Oh, it's such a chore. When someone says that to me, especially about content, which to me is such a vital, non negotiable part of our self expression, what are we doing right now? We're creating content. But really, all that is we're showing up. We're showing up
Mhm.
for ourselves. We're showing up for our people who are super engaged, by the way. I've loved seeing that in the comments.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
My reframe is always going to be the same. No, no, you don't have to do any of this. You get to do this. You
Right.
have the privilege of being able to show up and people like listening to you and engaging with your every word, and like being allowing themselves to be inspired and impacted by you, and you think you have to do this. Talk about entitlement, right? So I really wish that people would experience this reframe for themselves and understand that this is a choice.
Mm.
Everything's a choice. And we are so beautifully privileged to be
Yeah.
able to show up in the way we do, to be able to do this, and to
Right.
have people who can tune in from the other side of the world and just listen.
Right. I so love that. I so love that you know this. I love the way that you word things and speak them. And it is that it was something you said to me in the summer actually, that my soul team have been saying this to me for 10 plus years. Like they've said it to me in a way that is stop taking life so seriously, stop trying so fucking hard, and have some fun with it. And I was doing the whole, but well, I've got rent to pay. What do you mean have fun with it? Fuck you. I have to pay to live here, you know. Wow, wow, wow. And then he was saying to me this summer, I was like, well, you know, I did this event. It didn't work out. I learned a lot. So it was a massive success in that way, but it didn't work out. I didn't meet my intended outcomes. And you were like, do you know what, Jen? Start to have some fun again. Remember who the fuck you are, what your business is about, what you're here to do, who you're here to serve, and go have some fun. And that is essentially what I've spent the rest of this year doing, and it's been amazing. I love it. I've
Same.
learned so much, and my business is still alive and still growing. Happy days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, fun is one of my core values. So,
Mm.
slay. I am right there with you. If it's not fun, it's not worth it. Why the hell did we start this business in the first place if we don't allow ourselves the spaciousness in our minds mostly
Mm.
to enjoy this thing even when it's hard? Because honestly, even when it's fucking hard and you have the days of like, should I, why did I sign up for, should I even do, is this even for me? Maybe I should just get a job.
Des, I'm gonna burn it all down.
Honestly, and the amount of times I've heard that, right? But even on those days, that is way more fucking fun than being a mindless robot going to work for 9 to 5 to someone, helping them build their own company, their own brand, helping them put millions of dollars in their pocket rather than them being in your pocket so you can then create real change.
And then tell you your shit.
Yeah. And then be like, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go because we're hiring a robot.
Right. And as much as we're laughing, that's the reality of it
That
right now.
is the reality. Most people in jobs will be replaced by AI at some point. So,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
end this on a negative note, but you're welcome, guys.
Keeping it real. Well, that I mean, we'll always that is the one thing definitely you and I will always have in common is speaking truth. That's for sure, and saying how it is. There's no other way.
Yeah.
Thank you for this evening. Thank
Thank you for
you.
this evening.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you, everybody who has been here and been commenting, been with us on every step of this nuts conversation.
Click
Um,
share, guys. Share John the Pigeon. Click share on this video.
yes,
It's very
yes,
important. If you don't
yes.
click share, John will be eaten by Larry.
I mean, you can't have that on your conscience.
Maybe.
Yeah, share away, everybody. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Okay, so wonderfully, I have recorded this, so I will be able to share it with our both our audiences. So thank you, my lovely Des. Thank you, Lucifer and Sushi, who showed up today as well. And yeah, anything else you would like to share with people before we go?
Yeah, just do the thing, guys. That
Just
thing that's been on your mind, go and do it.
do it. Do
Mhm.
it.